Welcome everyone to the January 18th Public Council meeting for the town of Conception Bay South. This is our first meeting of 2022, so I hope everyone had a good and safe and enjoyable holiday season and New Year's. And despite the COVID situation in the province, we hope you were able to get together with the people that you enjoy spending time with, which is the most important part. And so we're going to get started right off the top here with our adoption of agendas and minutes and the adoption of the meeting agenda for January 18th. Do I have someone moving that?
So moved.
Councillor Tilley, seconded by Councillor Butler. Adoption of meeting minutes for December. You'll hold it now. Yes, I've forgotten. We have, and for folks watching, we have a new software system that we're getting used to, so it'll be a little slower every time we call for a vote. Something electronic pops up on our screens and we have to enter it electronically. So 1B, adoption of the meeting minutes for December 21st. Moved by Councillor Hillier, seconded by Councillor Hardy. All in favor?
Aye.
And I didn't get anything pop up on my screen, so I'm wondering if I don't vote on that one. Maybe. There it is. Okay. So business arising from previous minutes. If nobody has anything, most of these are covered through our regular minutes or regular discussion at the meeting. We don't have any visitors, presentations, or petitions. So we'll move right on to new business. And this evening, I'm going to start with Deputy Mayor Andrea Goss.
Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year to everyone. So I just thought I'd bring some attention to some community recognition opportunities that are coming up in the near future in our town. So we all know we have some wonderful volunteers in Conception Bay South. We're very fortunate to have a lot of wonderful volunteers in our community. And so we have the Volunteer of the Year awards coming up, Volunteer Youth of the Year, and Volunteer Citizen of the Year. And I just want to remind everybody that the deadline for the nominations is April 3rd. So if you know of a very dedicated volunteer in the community, be sure to get on our website and download the nomination form and get a nomination submitted. Not sure, because of COVID, we're not certain yet how this this recognition awards will roll out, but anyway, stay tuned. The main thing is that we recognize our very dedicated volunteers and get them in by April the 3rd. All right, so that's it for me. Thanks.
Okay, Deputy Mayor, thank you. Councillor Butler.
Thank you, Mayor. First off, as per Mayor Goss, there you go. I just promoted you. Deputy Mayor Goss.
I was only here 3 months. There it is.
Happy New Year to everybody. Oh my. I'm going to be a little long-winded here this evening, unfortunately, because as always, economic development has always got some good things to talk about. So first off, I'd like to remind people there's still time to register for the free cultural experience virtual tourism workshop coming up this Thursday, January 20th from 2 to 4 p.m. So it's all about stories, songs, arts, and heritage, which make up the fabric of our beautiful town. We want to connect with storytellers, artists, and musicians with venue tourism operators to showcase our town as a comprehensive tourism destination. So if you would like to register, and again, it's free, it's virtual, and the information is found on our social media websites. I'd like to put a plug in for CBS Theatre. If you're looking for help from anybody who would like to be script readers, they're working on a new play for June of 2020. Please God, they're hoping. And they have a number of excellent contenders, but they need some people to meet up virtually and give the scripts a read. Whether or not you actually want to be part of the auditions or work on the crew or just support the production, here's your chance to get a sneak peek and tell us what you think of the potential scripts. If you're interested, the readings will be held virtually starting Tuesday nights, beginning January 25th. And if anybody is interested in doing the script readings, you can email them at theatercbs@gmail.com. Can't wait to get off. I want to email them right away. Now, this is my big announcement for the night. The Town of Conception Bay South has completed milestone 4 of the Partners for Climate Protection, PCP program, by putting its plan to reduce corporate and community greenhouse gas, GHG emissions into action. This achievement makes Conception Bay South the first municipality in Newfoundland and Labrador to receive this milestone. Through a variety of new and ongoing initiatives, such as our community gardening projects, trail development and expansion projects, focus on energy efficiency for our municipal buildings, education campaigns, and recently developed climate change adaptation plan, the Town of Conception Bay South is doing its part to help the environment. Our actions to lower both energy costs and greenhouse gas emissions are helping us make important progress towards our sustainability and climate change objectives. PCP is a network of Canadian municipal governments that have committed to reducing greenhouse gas emissions and protecting our climate. As a member of the PCP program, the Town of Conception Bay South is among over 400 municipal governments across Canada taking a leadership role and making a significant contribution to reducing Canada's overall greenhouse gas emissions. And after I finish reading that, there will be a press release going out tonight to provide more information on Partners for Climate Protection, PCP program, and our milestone 4. And that's it for me, Mayor. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Councillor Butler. Some wonderful stuff there. Councillor Connors.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, Happy New Year to everybody, although it's probably not started on the COVID front the way that we would like it to start, but hopefully the old saying, in like a lion and out like a lamb, will impact. We will be all done with COVID by the end of 2022. Just wanted to build on something that Deputy Mayor Goss talked about, was the volunteer awards. And there are a lot of really good people in the town that are volunteers. So we should make sure that we are nominating people, because if they're not nominated, they can't win the awards, and there are a lot of deserving people out there. Also, we have the I'll call them the Athlete of the Year awards, but it includes Coach of the Year and Team of the Year as well. So I think that once again, there are a lot of people, a lot of athletes in CBS, and a lot of people coaches who could should be recognized for these awards. And I think that you should nominate. Everybody should try to nominate as many people as they can. So that's it for now. I hope everybody's staying safe with COVID, and we'll get through this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Connors. Councillor Tilley.
Thank you, Worship. Just to keep it in tune, I guess, with some of our upcoming events, I do believe that the town is calling for expression of interest for people to volunteer for our soiree. So I've known the people on social media over the past few years. They've had a ton of great ideas. So now's the time to put some pen to paper and put your name forward. And hopefully, we started out 22 with a different type of bang than we wanted, but hopefully we'll be able to go ahead with some more events in our soiree this year. So we kindly ask that those interested certainly put their names forward, and more volunteers makes it a lot easier for everyone else. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Tilley. Councillor Hardy.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. I think everyone has spoke about everything I was going to speak about this evening. Want to wish everyone in CBS a happy new year. Hope everyone has some time, some well-deserved rest over the holidays, and spend some special time with your friends and family. But just want to put a plug in for the the nomination awards coming in. It's a point in time when you're able to recognize someone who really puts a lot of passion into something they're doing. I know over the years past that we have a lot of residents that have received this award. I did receive it myself many years ago, and it was so important just in that time when you're as a kid, a younger kid or a senior kid, whatever, to be recognized for something you're so passionate about. So I really think that everyone needs to take a time and think about someone in their community and certainly put their name forward. And that's all I had to share for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hardy. Councillor Hillier.
Yes, Your Worship. Just something a little bit different from the others. As you're aware, we've had some people follow our meetings very closely for a long, long time, and still doing so virtually. But we've had a change recently in that our agenda looks different. I've had a couple of calls wondering why our agenda looks different. And of course, you referenced a little bit earlier, we're in the process of bringing in a new meeting management program, new meeting management software. And that's the format of the agenda that new meeting management system gives us. So it's nothing that we're trying to pull a wool over anybody's eyes or anything like that. It's just this is the new system that we're working with.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Hillier. Is that everything for you tonight?
Yes, sir. That's it.
Okay, sorry there. I wasn't sure if you froze or not. I think I might have for a second, but that's technology. And yeah, you're right. And I did have a couple people reach out to me as well, and it had to do with a little glitch. We didn't have the resolutions in the notice we put on the website, but we got that sorted and we got them in there, so they should be in there as well. But it does look a little different. Thank you, Councillor Hillier. Councillor Morris.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. And I also want to say Happy New Year to everyone. I do have a couple things I want to mention. First of all, our wellness walks that are starting on January 19th. This is a great way to get outside and walk with your tight 10. They're going to be at various trails across CBS, and pre-registration is required due to COVID restrictions, but I think, it's a great way to get outside because we're all Zoom fatigued and house fatigue at this time. But a lot of times I know myself when it's my turn to do this, different things that are going on with schools and we recognize students and athletes, et cetera. But I just want to do a big shout out and recognition to all the students and staff in all the schools in CBS and how they're doing such a fabulous job with the virtual learning. I think not everyone could do it. And, I walk by my kids' bedrooms when they're doing school, and it's a big deal. It's a big thing, not only for teachers, but for the students. And I just want to send out, big congrats to all those teachers and students that are doing that right now, and to be really proud of yourselves because, it's a great job and it's very strange times for us and we're pulling through. So congratulations on that. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Councillor Morris. Yeah, I'm seeing some fantastic stuff from teachers on social media and the things and the innovative things they're doing with the young people. It seems very exciting and looks like it's a great job by everybody. Thank you very much. Councillor Barrett.
Thank you, Your Worship. Well, Happy New Year to everybody. I know we're a few weeks out from that now, but hopefully you've all had some time to rest despite everything going on, and just a few things I wanted to highlight this evening. New year and new virus, and I'm not necessarily talking about Omicron. We can confirm that we have a few, or at least one case of the avian flu in some birds here in Conception Bay South, and so just wanted to ensure residents are aware that the town is working with the Canadian Food Inspection Agency to ensure safety of livestock and is protected here. And I know certainly as we've seen in the past number of meetings, we do have a number of hobby farms here in Conception Bay South. And so I just wanted to ensure folks are aware of that. And so just provide a little bit of context. We did share some information over social media already, but a lot of the time this might happen when birds migrate back to the province, typically in November, and it can spread that way. And so I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Canadian Food Inspection Agency encourages you to socially distance your chickens from other birds and other animals that you have on your property, and ensure just to keep them clean and there's a number of early signs of bird flu that you can keep in mind, whether it's lack of energy, lack of movement, decreased egg production, swelling, and a few other factors. And so as certainly further information becomes available, we will do our best to keep residents informed. But I would say the Canadian Food Inspection Agency is the lead for this particular issue. And so I suspect if you have a backyard farm, one, you need a permit for that. But two, I'm sure the agency has already been in contact with you as they're making their rounds in Conception Bay South. And I was going to say this for later, but I'll mention it now since Councillor Butler already brought it up. But I just want to recognize how incredibly proud I am that the town of Conception Bay South has been the first municipality in the province to reach milestone 4 of the climate change program. We have a number of initiatives, some of which has been award-winning. Our energy efficiency program has been recognized by Take Charge NL. We're showing leadership in a number of areas through both climate change mitigation and climate change adaptation. We have funded a number of initiatives in budget 2022, and I really think this will be a great year for Conception Bay South in terms of addressing climate change. One final note on that point, this is a 5 as the press release, as Councillor Butler mentioned. This is the 4th step of 5 steps, and we anticipate we will reach the 5th step in the near term, and that will consist of reporting of our results and actual GHG emissions that we saved through this program. So just wanted to shout out for that, and thanks for the staff as well in the town that have done an incredible job getting us to this point. That's it for me. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. And I think that's everybody, is it? Because everybody's changed the positions on my screen now, but have I missed anybody? I know I was expecting to end with Councillor Barrett. So, and yes, Councillor Barrett, it is fantastic, you know, the work that's gone into a number of projects throughout our town that have led to the milestone 4 acknowledgement by the Partners of Climate Protection. It's fantastic, and it's great to be a leader in this, you know, and it's something that we look forward to staying on top of and moving forward with going ahead. I just wanted to touch on a couple of other things, and I know there's mention of the volunteer and the athlete of the year awards, and I'm pleased this year that added to the volunteer, or to the I guess the athlete and sports awards this year, we've added 2 new categories, and that's executive of the year and team of the year. So it's great to have those added in, because there's lots of people that are on teams, you know, that individually they may not get recognized because of team events, but now can be recognized as part of a team. So I think that's fantastic. And look, people on executives and boards and volunteers, just like coaches around the town, you know, do a lot of work in the background that you never see at the field and you never hear about. So to be able to recognize executive volunteers in our community is fantastic, I think, as well. You know, I just want to touch on this for a moment, but you know, the lighted walk down at Manuel's River has been a great success this year, and you know, it's great for us to be able to do it. And I thank council for the wisdom of deciding to leave the lights on through February 20th, which would have been the end of our winter fest. So rather than take them down and maybe not be able to get them back up, we don't know how this Omicron is going, but to be able to leave them up at Manuel's River for people to enjoy. And I truthfully hope that there's nobody out there enjoying them tonight with the wind and rain that we're getting right now. But, you know, if they are, well, okay, they're there for you. And it's great to have them on. So we've joined a partner with some of our neighboring municipalities in keeping our municipal, you know, festive lights on for that extra time period this year, just as a glimmer of positive during the Omicron, and it gives people something you know, fun to do outside, and anything that we can do to do that, we're going to do. And that's why we're pushing forward with our Winter Fest and hoping that we can do lots of outdoor activities as well as online things if that's what's required. But our recreation staff, and I know our committee, is working hard to ensure that that's a great success this year, and that Winter Fest can go off hopefully more in person than we anticipated a couple of weeks ago. We're heading in the right direction. And just finally, I want to touch on something that I, as a Ward 1 councillor, and I know Councillor Moores is Ward 1 down there now, but for years and years and years, and certainly in 20 years or more, and maybe there's somebody on council that knows how long, but that former service station property been sitting vacant down there in Chamberlain's for so long, and growing up, and it's the site of mailboxes, of course, now, but we have a notice out for public input. And that was mentioned at the last council meeting in December. But I want to remind everybody that you have until January 28th to put some input in on this. But we're hoping that this site can be used for some storyboards for the area, parking for Chamberlain's Park, which is a complete gem for our community. Chamberlain's Park is, and the great work of that committee down there, and to be able to add some parking for them, and hopefully possibly some a community garden down there for this part of town would be fantastic. So it's a great use of this land that's been sitting vacant for so long, and to get it active and to get it as a asset to the town. Now, I just want to be clear on this. We're not buying this land. This is owned by the former service station people, but we are taking use of the above ground area of it. I've been told that the tanks have been removed. They're not there on the site, and that anything that happens above the site is perfectly fine from the ground up. We won't be digging down into this ground at all. As there's so many former service station sites sitting vacant across, well, not only Newfoundland, but across the country, and it's too bad. So anything that we can do to use that. So is there a cost? Yeah, there is a cost. But in my view, it's minimal, completely minimal. So we're not leasing this property. We're actually just foregoing the property tax on this vacant piece of land annually at around $3,200. So the cost of this is $3,200 of foregone taxes, but the community use and making it available and the beautification of the area for the residents who live there and for the ones who want to visit that park, I think is well worth the $3,200 a year we're foregoing in a property tax to the owner. And of course, this is there's no length period of lease agreement on this. It's one of those things that either one of us can cancel, I believe, with 30 days notice. So I just wanted to be completely transparent on that and let everybody know where that property stood. And I'm really hoping that from feedback that we get up until the January 28th, that the town and Chamberlain's Park and the community garden people and people that want to do the storyboards can help beautify that property for that area of town. Okay, my screen has gone dark because I've been talking too long, so I'm going to move right on now to recommendations from the Planning and Development Committee Chair, Councillor Hillier.
Yes, Your Worship, as I indicated at the last meeting, you can extend that length of time before your screen shuts out.
Yes,
Your Worship,
I did, Councillor Hillier. I added to it, but it's not enough, obviously.
Your Worship, if I could just interject real quick, I noted in committee I have a conflict on the first resolution. I live near the property, and so I'd like to declare a conflict.
Okay, so if we could have Councillor Barrett removed from the meeting. Yep.
Okay. I was going to bring forward the one from.
Well, let's skip ahead. Let's do.
Excuse me, Councillor Hillier. Number
Yes.
2535, where exactly is that located on Topsail Road?
It's right across the street from Sunnybury Nursery, the former Sunnybury Nursery.
Okay, I may have to declare a conflict as well because I have a brother-in-law who lives directly in front of Sunnybury Nursery.
Yeah, so we'll be right across the street.
Yep.
And it hasn't been called Sunnybury Nursery in a long time.
Okay.
Good
No.
to grow. So, thanks for the history
Sorry.
lesson.
My apologies.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, so Councillor Tilly is gone as well. So why don't we do that one, then we'll go back, Councillor Hillier, if that's okay.
Yes, Your Worship, be it so resolved that in accordance with Council's discretionary authority, application number 1111, received on November 30, 2021 for a pet grooming service at 2535 Topsail Road, be approved. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hardy, discussion?
Yes. I just want to make a few comments on it because there were a few conditions that were applied to that application as well, because there were some concerns raised by some residents. One of the conditions would be that the applicant install some barriers and signage to ensure that staff and the clients of the business do not interfere with the parking for the adjacent dwelling at 2533, because their parking lot and parking is right next to it. Also that the applicant needs to put in a plan for snow clearing and how they're going to manage snow clearing on the property, because it is a fairly tight property, and I guess before it was probably pushed over into 2533's property, but now we're asking them for a plan of how they're going to manage their snow clearing. So I just wanted to raise those two things, so that they are I forget the word, conditions on the approval.
Yeah. Any further discussion? Okay, well, there's been a number of attempts at businesses at this location, so I wish them all the luck, and hopefully they'll work out fine. So all in favor?
All right.
All right.
Contrary minded? Okay. So we can bring back Councillor Tilley and Councillor Barrett. Okay, Councillor Hillier.
I'm ready to go. Second one, Your Worship. Be it so resolved that Conception Bay South fence regulations be amended by adding the words "unless otherwise approved by council" to the beginning of the first sentence within section 13A. So moved.
Seconder.
So moved.
Councillor Connors. Discussion.
Yes, Your Worship, we had some regulations there that basically there was no discretion for council to make a decision. And really all we're doing with that regulation now is inserting some wording that will give council some discretion when dealing with situations of fences.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor?
All right.
All right.
Contrary minded? Okay, carried.
Your Worship, the third one comes out of our committee of the whole
Excuse me.
meeting earlier this evening.
Sorry, excuse me. Your worship, I'm in conflict. There was a discussion regarding a property owned by business that I have a relative, a family member is involved with. So I recused myself from the committee at that time, and I have to recuse myself here for this resolution.
Okay, and this is the one coming from the committee meeting we just had. Is that right?
This is from the Planning Development Committee report from the Planning Committee last, yeah.
Okay, so Councillor Hillier is dealing with one we just had at the committee we just had before Public Council. Is that the one you're recusing yourself from?
Committee of the whole.
Committee of the whole. Yeah, what was that? What was the nature of
This one is
that?
not on the agenda.
It's not on the agenda, Andrea, the one we're dealing with now. Sorry, Deputy Mayor.
Oh, my apologies. I thought we were down to the
Yeah.
report.
We skipped over one there, so Councillor Hillier is bringing
Okay.
one from previous committees. So, sorry, go ahead,
Okay.
Councillor.
Yes, Your Worship, as I indicated, this comes out of our committee of the whole meeting this afternoon. Be it so resolved that in accordance with council's authority at section 4.12 of the town's development regulations, resolution 21-449 passed at the December 21st, 2021 regular meeting of council be rescinded. And further, be it further resolved that in accordance with council's discretionary authority under section 10.7 of the town's development regulations, application number 803 received on August 24th, 2021 for a hobby farm at 5557 Clooney's Road be refused. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Barrett, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, this was a motion we brought forward just before Christmas, December 21st for a hobby farm, as we said, at 55 Clooney's Road. We had approved that motion at that time, but in the interim, we've received further information. We've done some follow-up, and at this point in time, we're rescinding that motion and refusing the application for a hobby farm permit going forward.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
All right,
Contrary minded? Carried.
Okay,
Okay,
So-
now I think it's
Your
turn.
worship, then
Yeah.
I am in conflict with the next item, and that is due to a family member involved with the business and the property that had been in discussion.
we'll have you taking from the meeting for a moment there, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you.
Okay, Councillor Hillier.
Yes, Your Worship, this is the final motion covering off our meeting on January 10th. Be it so resolved that the decisions, recommendations made at the Planning and Development Committee meeting on January 10, 2022 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder,
So moved.
Councillor Butler, discussion?
I just wanted to mention something that's included in the blanket recommendation. It is a piece of Crown land that we're giving a letter of support to. But I just want to point out that the person who's applying for the piece of Crown land has agreed to, if we need to use some of that piece of land for a ATV trail, that they will work with us on that. So I just wanted to put that out there so everyone know that there is a piece of Crown land that we're providing a letter of support to, but the applicant is willing to work with us for the ATV trail.
Okay, all right. Any other discussion? All in favor?
All right,
Contrary minded? Carried. Okay,
thank you, Your Worship.
thank you, Councillor Hillier. Recommendations of the Engineering and Public Works Committee Chair, Councillor Tilley.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just give me a second now. Our first recommendation is a ratification vote for the Easton's Road pedestrian crossing and Perrins Road intersection upgrade, approval to award tender. Tenders for these two locations on Easton's Road and Perrins Road closed November 1st, 2021. Our consultant reviewed the bids and recommends to award the tender to the lowest bidder who met all the qualifications. This project includes upgrades to the existing Perrins Road, Conception Bay Highway intersection traffic lights. And just for the benefit of everyone, that's to replace the lights in the east-west direction. And we're also putting in the underground work for a future north-south direction. And of course, this is also the pedestrian activated traffic light that we're going to be installing at Easton's Road along the Conception Bay Highway near the Manuals River. So the recommendation is, be it so resolved that approval be given to award Easton's Road pedestrian crossing and Perrins Road intersection upgrades to Dexter Construction Limited for the bid price of $333,301.05, including HST. Funds are to be taken from the capital project account. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hardy.
We all
Discussion.
wanted to second that one.
Yes, a few hands went up. Absolutely. Well, long time coming for both of those, really. And of course, expense and being able to do Easton's, or not Easton's, but sorry, I got my screen has
Perrins.
gone blank again. Yeah, Perrins
Perrins.
Road.
Yeah.
It's been a while now, and of course, we all want to get moving forward with Easton's Road at Manuals River to get that in there as quickly as we can do it. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And the second is ratification for approval to award RFP 21-04. We received requests for proposals for prime consulting services for all of our municipal road, water and sewer projects, which includes our 2022-2023 sidewalk program. Tender bid closed on November 29th, 2020. We had great interest with 11 proposals received and subsequently reviewed by our engineering town staff. Scope of the work includes design, tendering, contract administration, and inspection for the 2022-2023 road upgrades, paving and sidewalks, phase 48 of our water and sewer upgrades, And of course, we expect all this work to begin sometime in early May and continue throughout 2022. So the resolution, be it so resolved that approval be given to enter into a prime consulting agreement with SNC Lavalin Incorporated for municipal roads, water and sewer projects at the approximate cost of $663,246, including HST, and funds are available in the project account. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Moores. Further discussion. I think it's great. It's great to be getting back to water and sewer work again as a council here in Conception Bay South, and this is the start off of a tender that gets us. I believe it's the next 5 streets on the priority list attacked and taken care of over the next couple of years. So that's it's great to be able to do that along with the road work and of course expanding our sidewalks here. Did I call for a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And lastly is just our blanket recommendation. And of course, in our meetings are now online, so people can go and have a look. We just took the majority of our meeting, our last committee meeting, dealt with these 2 awards that we approved. And we also talked about our water statistics and some internal department reports that staff are doing and all as well. So be it so resolved that the recommendation decisions made at the Engineering and Public Works Committee meeting of January 11, 2022 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hardy. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you, Councillor Tilley.
Thank you, Worship.
Recommendations of the Recreation Leisure Services Committee, Councillor Moores.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. We had a busy meeting again this week, which is always good. First thing, we had a request from Theatre CBS for the use of Worsley Park building. The committee agreed that this was a good idea to support this not-for-profit organization. This requested that we have a written agreement with the group to honor this donation as long as they are not-for-profit. So be it so resolved that the approval be given to Theatre CBS for their facility donation requests, and for that to include a written agreement while the organization is not-for-profit. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Connors. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Okay, we good to move on?
Yep, go ahead.
I feel like there's all these screens to be looking at. We also had requests from the First Scout CBS for facility donation for them to use Sergeant Nugent ball field. The committee agreed that this was acceptable and would be well used by this group. So be it so resolved, approval be given to the first CBS Scouts Group facility donation request for the use of Sergeant Ned Nugent's ball field. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Deputy Mayor Goss.
Mayor Bent,
Yes.
these are not set up for votes. It's just one vote for the blanket committee.
There you go. I was just going to ask about that because they're not listed on my agenda. So Councillor Moores, you can tell us about all of these things.
Okay.
And then we're going to vote in the blanket at the end of it. How about that? And yeah, because I wasn't sure if we had just forgot to include them on the agenda or not. So yeah, you can just go down through them if you like, and we'll vote at the end.
Okay, sounds good. I just thought a little bit more detail for the first 3.
Oh, you go ahead with the detail.
Okay.
That's perfectly good. Yeah, let people know what you're up to, and then we'll just vote at the end of it. Yeah.
Okay, so we also had a request from Holy Spirit High School. They have funding for kayaks and canoes that they want to use. They want to add to their grade 12 phys ed program. Sorry, I got something caught in my throat. I'm trying not to cough. So basically they would like to partner with the town in that regard, that they are looking for somewhere to store the canoes and kayaks, whether it be at the school, which would mean we would just have to help prepare, make the trail down behind the school to Manuel's River a little more safe, or if we can help them out at Worsley Park and have a storage unit for those. So that was something else that was brought forward to the committee. And we all agreed that, as long as this would be a great idea, because they also said that it would be a great partnership because the town could use the canoes and kayaks for the summer with their summer programs and offer programs like that. So we're just looking into further what the best option will be for that, whether it be the spot at Worsley Park for the storage unit. A couple other things that were discussed that I guess Mayor Bent already spoke about was the light walk, how we've extended that, which I think is great. And I don't know if anyone drives by in the evenings to see the number of cars and the people walking. It's absolutely amazing, the number of people that are using the trail. And of course, we had originally hoped that we could, move it for Winterfest, but we thought it would be a great idea to keep it up and do with what other municipalities are doing, and then leave it there at Manuel's River for Winterfest. One thing I would like to bring up is the community park. So we recently just approved for the parking lot to go forward with that, with the agreement, the lease time. But I just want to point out that, whether or not we are all in agreement of where the park is located, at the end of the day, it's been decided, work has been done. We can't pull out on things like that at this point. It would just cost us so much money in the town. So I think our goal as a councillor, and I know my goal, is to do what we can to make that park the best park it can be. And in saying that, I know a lot of people had issues with the parking because it was very limited parking at the current site. So we have been working hard, and I know the recreation director has been working very hard, and other people, to find an adequate space that it's not too far. I know the one we currently have is 3 minutes away, but it's better than 10 or 15 minutes away. And we are always open for discussion, looking for, a parking lot that would be suitable. And this new parking lot will provide 85 parking spots, which I think is good. So I guess, the message I'm trying to put out there is that we are going to do our best to make this the best park possible and have the best facility and parking available to residents of CBS. So with all that being said, we also mentioned some important dates, which I won't go through all the individual ones. There was a couple other things that we talked about, which you can see in our committee minutes. So be it so resolved that the recommendations, decisions made at the Recreation and Leisure Service Committee meeting of January 11th, 2022 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Barrett, any further discussion? I just want to say something as well. And I know I mentioned the lighted walk earlier, but I think it would be great if we expanded the lights in Conception Bay South next December, next January, next February. Get out there at Parsons Park, and some other areas in town up in Nugent's and so forth. I mean, it's just fantastic. And when you put them in one place, some people, especially the way our town is linear, people drive by them and don't see them when they turn off at different turnoffs. To have them in different areas of the town and make them more accessible to people from one end of town to the other would be great. I think it lifts spirits, and I think it's just great to have something for people to do outside, whether it's a COVID time or not a COVID time, because the one thing that we all love to do here in this province is be outdoors doing stuff, sitting around a fire in the middle of winter with a big snowbank behind you is not a bad thing. It's not the worst thing in the world, whether there's COVID or not COVID. So to have lights, in different areas is fantastic. And I know that some of the Winterfest stuff they're talking about having the fire pits like we had up at Nugent's before would be great as well. Just anything like that. So it's fantastic. And yes, I'm with more than 100 spaces of parking secured for the park. I'm looking forward to hopefully getting that park open sometime later next year if all goes well in the delivery of supplies and so forth. It'd be great to get going. So all in favor?
Mayor Ben, I'll just
Yep,
say
go
that that is one of the things that we did discuss at a recreation meeting, was expanding the lights next year across CBS. So that is something that we're looking into.
Yeah, light this town up in the wintertime.
Yes.
Because and especially this year, it just seems like every night when you're driving, it's so dark with the precipitation on the road and so forth. So it's just anything like that to brighten it up a little bit is great. Okay. Anybody else? All in favor? Contrary minded. Okay, passed. Thank you, Councillor Morris. All right, recommendations of the Financial and Administrative Services Committee, Deputy Mayor Goss.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. So we have quite a list there this evening. We should get through fairly quickly. Not as exciting as some of the other news that the rest of you get to deliver. But hey, here it goes.
But Deputy Mayor, if we didn't pay the bills, it would be the most exciting of all of them, wouldn't it? Yeah. So let's pay some bills.
So let's pay the bills. First item 8A, accounts payable checks. So there is a listing attached there. Be it so resolved that approval will be given to pay accounts payable checks totaling $458,959.26 as per the attached report. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hillier, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
The next item 8B is our manual checks. And this says, be it so resolved that approval will be given to ratify the payment of manual checks totaling $148,604.22. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Barrett, discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
Okay, our next item is the capital invoice approval. And the resolution, be it so resolved, that approval be given to pay capital invoices totaling $343,945.48 as per the attached listing. So moved.
Seconder.
Second.
Councillor Tilly, discussion?
This is our capital invoices. This is for our capital works projects. So we have some small items. We have the biggest one there is for our library, I believe, and we've got some small items for payments there pertaining to the monument project. There's our community park, some engineering fees is all relative to projects that are ongoing or are winding up. We do have, and then we do have some, there is a bill, an invoice there regarding the coastal assessment, which is really important. That's an ongoing engineering project that's really important that we have been, we've had ongoing to assess our coastline. So anyway, that's, so it's quite a number of things, but there are a lot of small item things. So we'll move. Oh, I got to vote. Hang on.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Got caught up talking and forgot to vote. So the next item is approval to revise resolution 21-414. Be it so resolved that the town of Conception Bay South accept shared funding as outlined in the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure Project approval letter dated December 6, 2021 to reallocate $750,000 under the current 2023 multi-year capital works project from project 17-MYCW-22-00023 street upgrading and paving to the project number 17 MYCW 22-00047 shoreline stabilization WWTP infrastructure protection. The revised Schedule A includes the project cost in the amount of $10,737,100. The town agrees to provide the total ultimate recipient share value of $4,154,328 as shown in the revised Schedule A. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hardy, in my 7 years on council, that's the longest resolution I have heard or recommendation I have ever heard. So is there any further discussion on that then?
This is the funds that we reallocated from the multi-year project to do the coastline assessment that I just referenced earlier in the capital works listing.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
The next item is elected official training. And be it so resolved that approval be given for Deputy Mayor Goss, Councillor Hardy, and Councillor Moores to register for the MNL elected official training at a cost of $17.50 per person. Funds are available in the operating account. So moved.
Seconder,
Second.
Councillor Tilly, discussion.
This is some training with MNL for elected officials, and it's a 10-week training, online training that myself and Councillor Hardy and Councillor Moores elected to take.
Yeah, it's fantastic to be able to get this and to get some really good insight into the Municipalities Act and how things are structured and roles and responsibilities, duties and things to watch for and so forth. So I think it'll make us a stronger council with the more people that have this training and so forth. So I think it's a great endeavor for us, and I'm not sure we've taken advantage of this in the past. I know we have done some training. I've been involved in some orientations and so forth, but usually it's a baptism by fire. So this will get you some extra training to help you in your job here, in your role on behalf of residents.
Yeah, we're looking forward to this opportunity.
Absolutely. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Seconder,
Contrary minded? Yep.
I need somebody to second the motion, please.
Well, that was Councillor Hillier, retroactively. And all in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you.
Next item, Municipalities Newfoundland and Labrador and Professional Municipal Administrators membership fee. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay membership fees for 2022 for Municipalities Newfoundland and Labrador and Professional Municipal Administrators in the amount of $19,086.36. Funds are available as presented. So moved.
Seconder,
Second.
Councillor Butler, discussion. And these are annual fees, right?
Yes, these are standard fees that we have to pay every year.
And it's based on population, I understand. So that's
Correct.
everybody pays different depending on their residents. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Next item is the Federation of Canadian Municipalities membership fee. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay membership fees for the 2022 for Canadian Federation of Municipalities in the amount of $6,770.30. Funds are available in count as presented. So moved.
Seconder,
Aye.
Councillor Moores. Discussion. Same as MNL, the Canadian Federation gets its dues based on number of residents. So there it is.
Correct.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Next item, personnel, human resources manager. Be it so resolved that approval be given to confirm Tyler Putt in the position of human resources manager as per the terms and conditions of the employment contract. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hardy. Discussion.
Tyler has been, I think he's got probationary period of, I think it's 12 months. And so now he's settling into the position for full-time permanent. So,
Excellent. Excellent addition.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
next item, again, personnel, facilities manager. Be it so resolved that Desmond Thomas be appointed to the position of facilities manager as per the terms and conditions of the employment contract. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Connors. Discussion. All in favor? Contrary
Aye.
minded?
Aye.
Carried. Great.
Next item, taxi rate increase. Be it so resolved that approval be given to set taxi rates as follows. Flag rate, $4.50. Distance rate per kilometer, $2.50. And waiting rate per hour, $40.50. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hillier. Discussion?
I just wanted to mention, and I don't know if you, Deputy Mayor, if you want to elaborate on this before I say my.
Okay, I just got caught up in trying to do my vote online. It's an adjustment. Yeah, I just wanted to mention, like we had a lot of conversations around this in committee of the whole, and we went back and forth. And this request came in from from the local taxi company requesting an increase in rates, and we went back to them and asked for more information. They came back again. And the city of St. John's had recently approved an increase for the taxi companies in town. And it was brought to us that the rates had not changed. They had not had an increase in 10 years. And all of the expenses went up, that the expenses of running a business, a taxi service business. And so we really looked at this, and we decided that one of the things that this taxi company does is that they provide flat rates to the city and to Mount Pearl, and they assured us that they would continue with that so that residents had an option that would be more cost effective. So yeah, there was a lot of discussion around this with council.
Councillor Connors, did you want to?
Yeah, and thanks for summarizing that, Deputy Mayor. I have a bit of a problem of why this lands on our table sometimes, and I know that as the municipality, we're probably the regulator of taxis within our town, or so. What I do have a problem with it. I realize, and I've heard it many times from all taxi drivers, insurance, gas, and everything. Well, just operating your own vehicle, all costs have gone up. So I think these are reasonable adjustments to the taxi service in Conception Bay South. And but I do question why this sometimes lands on our table to have to make a decision on this.
Absolutely. Any other discussion? Yeah, I just want to say I think it's absolutely unfortunate that we're here approving increases for the cost of transportation to and from Conception Bay South, because it's expensive enough as it is. But in the truth of it, there would be no transportation from Conception Bay South anywhere if the operators couldn't afford to operate. And you can imagine now the cost increases over a 10-year period, 10 years since they got an increase, and the costs, and we know what gas is doing, and we're all frightened with the prospect that gas could go up much higher this summer alone. So they have to operate, and we need to. And unfortunately, like Councillor Connor says, it falls in our lap. I'm not sure why that ever happened, but here it is. And but we have to ensure as well that the rates that we set are viable for the operators to operate, so that people can actually have them to use. Because if they were to go out of business, we would be in far worse shape for transportation here in Conception Bay South than we already are. If there's no other discussion, I will call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Last item, our department report. Be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions of the Financial and Administrative Services Committee of January 10th, 2022 be accepted as presented. The following items were discussed: capital change orders, tax receivable update, the 2022 tax bills, enforcement and humane services statistics, and the fire department statistics. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hardy. Discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. All right, thank you, Deputy Mayor.
And thank you.
That was a long one for you tonight, for sure. Recommendations of the Economic Development and Tourism Committee Chair, Councillor Butler.
Thank you, Your Worship. Having only the blanket recommendation this evening, residents and councillors alike can see in our report some of the things that were discussed at our committee meeting on January 11th. I've already alluded to some of them at the beginning of this evening on the go-around. Cultural Tourism Development Workshop. We did talk about the wayfinding signage, which I think we've already spoken about before. Partners for Climate Protection, which I earlier spoke about, and our news release, I believe, is now out there. I think that's about it. The residents can see the report there. So I'm going to go back to my blanket recommendation. Be so resolved that the recommendations and decisions made at the Economic Development and Tourism Committee meeting of January 11th, 2022 be accepted as presented. And it lists down the things I just mentioned. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor or Deputy Mayor Goss. Any further discussion? All in
No.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Reminded? Carried. Thank you, Councillor Butler. Is there anyone reporting from other committees or reports? Yes, Councillor Moores.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. Yeah, I'm sitting on the Winterfest committee, and we've had 2 meetings now. And basically the first one was just to get our group together. And since then, our goal has been to come up with different ideas. We're really focusing on, obviously, under the current circumstances with COVID, we can't do some of the things we originally had hoped to do. But we're really focusing on as many outdoor events that we can do under the current guidelines and in association with some virtual events, unless things change next week. But we're still full speed ahead, and it's going to be a great week or two. And if anyone has any feedback or any ideas, by all means, they can send it along. But we do have a great group, a lot of great ideas, and I think it's going to be a really fun Winterfest.
I can't even believe I'm saying this, but a little snow wouldn't hurt.
Well, I know. We talked about
goes.
different things that we could do, like, oh, let's a snowman contest, or let's go a snowshoe thing. And we're like, well, we need snow for all those things.
Well, maybe we could get it shipped in from some of our neighboring communities to get much more snow than we do here in CBS. How about that?
Yeah, you never know.
Thank you, Councillor Morris. Looking forward to Winterfest. Absolutely. Did anybody have anything else before we get to the end? I know these meetings seem to be longer than they used to be. I hope that's not my fault, but anyway. Yes, Councillor Connors.
Yeah, I just going to mention that I attended a few meetings on behalf of Council for the Northeast Avalon Joint Councils.
Yes.
So they do, once a week, they do an update for COVID, which is open to all councils. So, and it's a representative from the Eastern Hill that presents it, Ron Johnson. So it's, to be honest, is very informative, and you get to see some of the challenges that Eastern Hill are facing from day to day as they move through the COVID. They give update on PCR testing and the vaccine booster and everything like that. So it's really informative. I've attended 2, and they're done virtually, of course, and there's another one planned for tomorrow. So I'll be joining that one as well. During the meetings, there was someone asked the question: "Is what as municipalities should we be doing?" And it was a simple answer: just promote people to get vaccinated and get their booster shot, and follow the COVID protocols. So I think that we hear this from all levels of government and all individuals, from all medical, and I'm sure Councillor Tilley can attest to this. So I'm going to say, if you're not vaccinated, please get vaccinated and get your booster shot.
Yes.
Then on January 12th, myself and Deputy Mayor Goss, we attended Northeast Avalon Joint Council. It's a regular meeting, and it was first they had their AGM, and for the next year or next 2 years, I guess, Mary Thorne Goss, the Deputy Mayor of Torbay, was acclaimed to the chair position. Isabel Fry, councillor with the city of Mount Pearl, was acclaimed as vice chair. And Craig Williams, I think he's the mayor of Conception Harbour, was acclaimed as treasurer. Then we went into a regular meeting. I don't have the minutes yet, but I just want to provide a quick recap. There was representatives there from the RNC, the RCMP, to talk about policing issues, and they're regular on the agenda. This was my first meeting, so they had mostly around enforcement that, and then there was a roundtable, but there was a lot of new people there, so it wasn't a lot of discussion. It went around, everybody introduced themselves, but I'm sure there will be lots of discussion at the next meeting, which is scheduled in early February 9th. So I just wanted to give that quick update.
All right, thank you, Councillor Connors. Did anybody else have anything to report otherwise? And I just had,
Mayor Bent?
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Sorry. I attended my first board meeting as a town representative for the Visions Employment, which is a nonprofit community-based employment corporation for anyone who's not aware. And the mandate is to provide the employment related to services to support adults in high schools, anyone with intellectual disabilities that are facing barriers for employment. It was my first board meeting, which it was very interesting, and it's very near and dear to my heart. Children with disabilities. I do have a niece with Down syndrome, so I'm glad to be the representative for the town and certainly be able to provide some input. Certainly some things we have certainly faced with my niece, and hopefully get some more stuff put in place for years to come for when she's able to be there. So thanks for choosing me to be the representative.
Well, thank you, Councillor Hardy. It's a great organization. I'm very pleased that as a council, we're able to be part of that organization and help with them and guide them as well. I just want to mention the Chamberlain's Park Action Committee are holding their annual general meeting next Tuesday, January 25th at 7 p.m. and it'll be online. So if you're interested in them, they're on their Facebook page and you can get your link and information from them. So they're a great organization. They have a fantastic park down there, and it's a volunteer based. So it's quite a success story for our town. If there's nothing else, I'm going to call for a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Councillor Tilley moved, Councillor Connors second. Thank you, everyone. So that wraps up the meeting for this week, and we'll be back February 1st. So we'll see you all in a couple of weeks' time. Good night.